Okay, peace. Welcome to another Urban X TV experience. We are in the building with Brother Oba. This is the Black Dot, as you already know. Now we're taking it a step further. If you've seen the other interview we did with Brother Oba, sitting down, just chopping it up, getting us familiar with some of these spiritual concepts and principles, or re-familiar, you know what I'm saying? Because we, as a people, have lost so much. So I felt it was important that we crawl before we walk, in essence. You know, sit down, chop it up, have some fun, throw some urban stuff in there. We talked about Tupac, we pissed a lot of people off. We talked about spirituality. We talked about a lot of stuff. But now I want to get to more of the essence of what it is you do here at, you know, the altar, the temple, you know, where the magic takes place, so to speak. And so you can give us a bird's eye view, so we know that this ain't just you reading some books. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden now you were, you know.
Self-proclaimed Pope and all that.
And all of that kind of stuff, because it's happening now in our communities. But I feel the beautiful thing about what's happening, because it's all getting flushed out. I have no problem with what I see going on, because I know it's an end of a cycle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the way I see it.
Absolutely.
Even in mumble rap, people had this big, I said, this is great.
Yeah.
Because it's reaching a point where it has to renew itself. Absolutely. It's burning and crashing.
Yeah. And
coming out of that should be
a phoenix.
And there we go. Yeah. So you're going to drive. I'm just going to be here at the passenger seat. This is a foreign car, which is the driver's on that side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just kind of bring us up to speed. Take your time on what it is we're seeing, what we're experiencing.
Okay.
And, you know.
So today we are in the sacred room of where I keep my orishas. The proper name for that is the Igbo-du.
The Igbo-du.
The Igbo-du. The Igbo means a grove, right? Or like in nature. Odu means black. So they're saying this is the grove of the blackness, of the vortex. This is where the deities come and descend for us. Okay. In Africa, the Igbo-du is actually in a grove. Due to circumstances of oppression and things of that nature, our circumstances, we're forced to conduct our ceremonies in houses. We don't have large temples. So the sacred room in which you place your orishas in is referred to as the Igbo-du. Okay, so we're in the Igbo-du right now, where my orisha rest. Okay, this is a very sacred place. Yeah, I might smoke weed and I might fornicate and do all these other things, but never in this room. Right? Unfortunately, some people don't have the space. So what happens is they put their deities on one side of the room and they conduct their business, their human business, on the other. And we have to be aware that the deities are very aware of our circumstances. Okay. So in that circumstances, they're not offended. If you have more space and then you dedicate that to them, then they appreciate that. One of the very first sacrifices one makes in these traditions, before there's any blood or any offerings or yourself, the first thing that you actually offer is time and space. Okay. Time and space, based on the fact that when you bring your altar into your home, there is a moment that you allow a specific space for your altar, right? And then the time that you use to erect it, to maintenance it, and the time that you put forth in meditating before that altar. Now, these two things, time and space, are the first sacrifices that you give freely. You don't own these things, but you can give them freely. You don't have control over time nor space. But you offer them freely to the deity, because that is the paradigm in which we are trapped in, is time and space. Okay. So this is the very first sacrifice that one makes when engaging into these traditions, or any tradition that requires you to erect an altar. When you go to the Chinese nail salon, the first thing you do, you come in there and you see they got their little shrine with the orange and the incense and the flowers. Before they set up the tables to put the nail salon together, they figured out a specific place, the feng shui of where their altar would be erected, so to give them the optimum energy frequency to produce what they are trying to obtain, which is money without problems.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Right.
So time and space is one of the very first things that we offer to our deities before we get to even putting down blood or fruit or any offerings. A lot of times I hear people say, oh, well, I want to make an offering to Oshun. Oshun didn't ask you for it. Right? And so, what we were talking earlier, don't give me what I didn't ask for.
Right.
I don't need that. And so now when you need something and you come and you're trying to haggle with me, I don't want to be bothered because you're going to give me what you think I deserve. As opposed to in these traditions, we have divination, which was specifically the detail, oh, Oshun is looking for you to do this so that she can do this for you because it's reciprocal.
Right.
Right? We don't just pray to the gods and put offerings to them because it's a certain day. That's for people who have to establish ritual and establish some sort of a routine, right? Which in part keeps the brain disciplined. But the idea is that you go for divination to ask Oshun what it is that if she's even involved in any of your issues. She might not be the one specific to that issue.
Absolutely.
Right? And so when people wantonly decide, oh, well, I want to get into this and I feel a connection to Oshun, that's cool. But you're not sure about that because you don't have a reference to what Oshun really is. Right? And so I have Oshun behind me, and Oshun is very misinterpreted throughout the diaspora. And in the modern time, people have given her this moniker of the deity of love and happiness. And Oshun really talks about transformation. And so this transformation is even practiced within the Baptist church. They take you to when you really go to a good Baptist church, they take you to the river to get baptized.
Check.
Renewal. Right? So she represents transformation. And so what women look for her, they say, oh, Oshun is sexuality and sensual, Yeah, but those are sound bites to the bigger picture. What she represents to women is the idea that you can adorn yourself to attract. So flowers do that, have that mechanism where they open themselves up, they give off a certain color and a certain fragrance to
Vibration,
attract
absolutely.
the bees to pollinate them. So Oshun is not the most beautiful female deity in the pantheon. She's not. What she represents is the ability for women to adorn themselves and make themselves palatable, to make themselves attractive, right? So there's a story where they talk about Oshun. Oshun's general color today is yellow. If you ask the people in Nigeria, they will tell you her color is really white. And the Lukumi have a story that says that Oshun came to earth with promises of being wealthy and having a good life. And when she got here, she had one dress and it was all white. And she didn't have any other clothes. And so every day she was forced to wash her dress in the river. And what happens when you keep washing white? It turns yellow. And her clothes turned yellow and she became embarrassed. So now she didn't want to go into town to go shop or do anything because she looked like a vagrant. Her clothes, everybody knew that her clothes were old. And she became depressed about this. And her hair began to fall out. And at this time, Yemonja, the mother of the ocean, was said to have not had a heart. She was very coarse because everything in the ocean is pretty much on its own. Besides the mammals that inhabit the ocean, all of the life that happens in the ocean, nothing is breastfed. You never seen a fish breastfeed another fish. So fish are born, they got to do what they got to do. Like they say, sharks are born swimming, you on your own.
You're on your own.
And so Yemonja was very coarse as a mother. And so Oshun's hair started to fall out and she became very sentimental and she began to cry. And her tears surmounted and became a river. And the river found its way to the ocean and Yemonja heard her cries. And when Yemonja followed the cries, she came upon Oshun and she says, well, what's the matter? You supposed to be, you know, like, I heard you were supposed to be good when you got down. And Oshun told her a lot. She says, look, God has forsaken me. My clothes are all yellow. My hair is falling out. This is not the life that I had planned and destined in heaven. And so Yemonja took the time and she went into the earth and she pulled out gold. And she started to brocade her skirt and her shirt with gold edges. So that it was yellow and gold. And then Yemonja took her own hair out and braided it in Oshun's hair and gave her extensions. Right? And when it was over, Yemonja told her to look at herself in the river, because the river becomes the very first mirror that human beings ever have contact with.
Check.
And so now you can look at yourself and you don't need another person to groom you. Primates groom each other. They groom each other, but now Oshun had knowledge of self. She knew who she was. And so from that, Yemonja had sympathy. She learned sympathy, right? That certain things need care and nurturing. And Oshun learned how to lift herself. So till this day, we pan gold in the river, right? Till this day, Africans have always put extensions in their hair. So when the brothers be like, oh, she don't got no natural hair, it is the custom of African women to adorn themselves. This is where they put earrings and makeup and these different things as a means to attract. So Oshun represents essentially the plain Jane that you know in your neighborhood. Like, you see her and she's not ugly, but she's just not gorgeous. She goes to work every day. She got a uniform on. You don't pay her no mind. But one day, she go into somebody's wedding,
and you like,
she got on the heels, she got the stockings, she got the dress, it's fitting. Somebody did her hair, her sister put her makeup on,
Absolutely.
She got the right earrings on, she got the perfume on. You ready to marry her. You like, yo, who is that? She been walking past you every day, right? And so Oshun represents the ability for women to have power in adorning themselves, in creating a personage that I am greater than what I am. Right? So when the brothers be all about the sisters putting on makeup and having, you know, somebody else's hair in their head, that's alternative. I mean, that's against what is African. Because you go back to Africa, women put things in their lips and their ears, they put other stuff in their hair. This is a part of adornment. So we have to realize what is African before we start talking about, oh, you got the white man's hair in your head. If that young woman doesn't feel confident because she's ridiculed because her hair is kinky and she decides to put on that hair unit, that's not for you to decide. That's for her confidence. For her to feel like she can face the world. That's her battle regalia against a world which is very judgmental.
Check.
Right? And so we get into all of that. Oh, how could you? But you look at the brother Killer Mike. He's conscious as a mug, but his wife, she got him the nice hair, it's just permed or it's a unit, I don't know. But she look, you know, and it's blonde. You can't say that he don't put in the work. He out there talking to the people doing the work, right? So we got to necessarily come to a realization about what is African, right? And African is the ability to adapt and homogenize what makes sense.
Say that again?
To adapt and homogenize what makes sense to them. So now we get into what is spiritualism. A lot of people downplay spiritualism. They go, oh, that's that Spanish stuff. But really it's a mechanism that the Africans use to incorporate their theology to the theology that they had to go up against every day.
Okay.
Right? And so this is why they saw their deities in the saints. Right? This is why they changed their clothes. They couldn't continue to be African. They had to be a part of society which was trying to exit them out, right? And so they had to come to a understanding to homogenize what they have learned and what they already know and become better. You know what I mean? You could have a custom, but if it doesn't work, why are you continuing to do it?
Right.
You understand?
Facts.
And so it's custom to walk by another brother and ice grill him because that's what we had to do in the 90s, but we don't got to do that no more. So it's not necessary anymore.
Right.
You feel me?
Actually, when a brother does that, I go, where you from?
Exactly. Cause,
you know, in this day and time, like, really, you ice grilled me all the way down the block?
But when really, it's supposed to be, yo, what's up, bro?
Exactly.
Yo, you good?
You good? Everything good?
Your police ain't bothering you?
Right.
Everything good? You need something? Can I help you out, bud?
Right.
And so customs becomes dogma because you get stuck in it. And when people, after time, when people don't know what the original purpose of it is, it has no relevance, right? And so back to the iconography. Iconography is very important to psychology. So you'll hear me talk about Jesus. I don't have a problem with Jesus. Jesus is a legitimate deity. What I have a problem with is the iconography in which you worship him in. You worship him in the sense of him being on the cross, but that's not the entire story. You understand? So that would be like trying to judge Malcolm X as what's that? Red.
Detroit Red.
So you saw his whole life and you decided that I'm just going to focus on Detroit Red, and that's who that is. But he evolved, right? Now, when somebody devolves, that's a different thing. You understand? And that was my issue. So I'm going to tell the people, those that have felt some kind of way, I apologize if I have offended you for your idol, but it's reality. We watch somebody devolve. We're talking about the Tupac situation. Okay. I'm apologizing for those people who are emotionally connected to that. Right. But at this day and age, we have to be real with ourselves about who we use as an icon and who we use as a model for our children. And when you see somebody devolve, because you're talking about somebody that went from a conscious existence to an unconscious existence, and now you wanted to hold him up with all of the stuff that he did from a conscious perspective. It doesn't you understand? And again, so that's like saying Malcolm, he was like, all right, the hell with the Nation of Islam, I'm going back to sell drugs in the street, and now we're going to exalt him? No, he lost that.
Right.
You lost that because you've devolved, you've taken us back. Right? And so the iconography is very important, because the iconography that you see Jesus on the cross does not serve you. When you go into their white churches, you go into those Catholic churches, they got Jesus with a cape, he got the Holy Grail in his hand, his heart is busting out the chest, he got the halo behind him, and he's holding a sword. That's empowering to them.
Absolutely.
You understand? That psychologically is telling you something, that they have examined him from his resurrection.
So their perspective is from the perspective of resurrection into, and ours is from a point at its lowest point.
Absolutely.
Oppression. Got you.
Right? Oppression, ridicule. Right? And so you have to be careful of what it is that you are projecting to your children. What we grew up in an era where we denied the fact that the music influenced us. Oh no, that don't make me want it. No, that's a lie.
You're a damn liar.
You understand? I can remember in the 90s listening to some Mobb Deep and being ready to get into something devilish.
Absolutely. And I used to tell people, when they were just playing break beats, this was before niggas started to do records in Cedar Park, certain records they put on.
Made people.
The drums you knew it was about to get ill in there, because this is the energy of those specific drums. Something else I want to mention, I told people when people got pissed at me, stop teaching your kids about slavery. I wasn't trying to say it didn't happen, but white people don't teach their kids about when they was in caves.
That's a fact.
They teach their kids from a place of empowerment.
Exactly.
We went over here, we fucked these people up, we took that. We went over there, yeah, I know with some niggas there, we scraped that, we own that. And what it does, these children grow up with a sense of entitlement. This is why they walk around like, if I want this, I can have this. And we just
study manifestation.
Right, this victim consciousness shit that we have. Oh, we struggled. Oh, we got beaten. We need to remove that from the psychology of the kids somehow, some way, and put them in a position like, yo.
Well, the iconography. You know, a nation is defined by its flag, right? The flag bearer is probably the bravest person on the battlefield because he ain't got no gun. He holding the flag. He represents something. Okay. The difference between African Americans from the continent and those that are from the diaspora in the Caribbean and in South America is that they have a day of independence. That carnival is the day for them to party. That's why the rest of the year they work hard.
2 and 3 job money.
Exactly.
13 jobs.
They have a day that they're gonna let loose, and they're gonna be African in the best way that they know how. We as a collective do not celebrate Juneteenth. So what happens is we don't have a psychological trigger that says you're free, right? And so as a flag, what happens is, so on Labor Day you go to Labor Day, and you if you're American, you feel kind of ostracized because you don't got a flag.
You see all of these flags.
You got the Trinidadian flag, the Jamaican flag, the Haitian flag, right? And here it is, you're American, but how do I put that flag up amongst these other black people? Because this flag is not only oppressed me, it's oppressed them too. Right? So now I'm stuck with, I don't have any nationality. Right? So really, what really needs to be spoken of is the fact that Marcus Garvey created this flag to put us under one umbrella. So wherever there's black people, take down your Nigerian flag and put the red, black, and green flag up. In Cuba, take down that flag and put up the red, black, and green flag. In Haiti, take that down and put the red, black, and green flag. Because once you have established all of these, that this flag has all of this property and land, now we become the majority.
Absolutely.
Right? Now we're no longer a minority because we become unified under the nationhood that is not specific to a land. Because the Catholic Church does that. Every place that there's a Catholic Church, that is sovereign land. You can't go in there with your guns and take nobody out. They own that property. It belongs to them. They don't pay no taxes on it. Every Catholic Church. So imagine every Catholic church that's on the planet. That's a lot of property.
It's a lot of property, absolutely.
Right? That's a lot of real estate. So if we would have put down whatever national flag that we got from our oppressors and put up the red, black, and green flag, it gives our children a sense of nationhood.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The Jew does the same thing. Before he had Israel, he was still slave raising his flag. Now he got this flag with the Star of David. And every time you see that, oh, that's the Israelis own that, right? So right now, they about to kick out all the Eritreans and all the Africans. They're telling them, you can't be here.
30 days, nigga, you gotta get up out of here.
Right. So we talking like slavery ended. Everybody in the huff about Libya. Libya never stopped selling slaves. The Muslims never made any decree, and they never made a constitution to make them stop slaving black people. So the amount of time that we've been here in this country fighting for civil rights and all that, Africans have still been fighting slavery. So this is why I'm so opposed to, don't go over there trying to get none of this. Because they under colonial rule still. What are you talking about? They ain't free. They all of their minerals and all of their resources are being drained from them. They have no say in that.
Right.
They still being slaves over there.
Right.
What you looking for them for? They're looking to us.
They looking to us.
Right?
Absolutely.
So we have to come to an understanding that the iconography, it's not enough for somebody to read a book and say, oh, I'm going to draw this thing here. How do you know what that really means? The person in the book is probably not even an initiate. They're an observer. Right? So if you don't have the iconography, because sometimes I just come in here and I sit and I meditate and I just stare at all of my stuff. And I let it talk to me because it's talking. It's animate. And so I listen. And so each one of the symbols becomes more apparent to me as I sit there and meditate and stare at it. Right? This is the purpose of the altar. The altar is nothing more than a focal point for you to sit down and meditate and take everything out your pocket and put it on the table and then examine what was in your pocket. Right? What was I carrying? Oh, this, I don't need this. Let me put this away. Right? I need these. I need my keys. I need my wallet. Right? I need my cell phone. I smoke. I need my lighter. Right? And so the altar gives you a place to put all your stuff in so that you can see it. Because, as I said, a black cat can see in the dark, but it can't see itself. He can't see himself. And so I need the altar to profess, to put it in front of so that I can examine myself. And when I still haven't seen the entire picture, I go and I get somebody else to tell me what's back here, because I can't see the back of my head. Right? And so it's a community thing. So if you think that you're just going to necessarily be initiate yourself in your house because you read some book, right? And now you are this. Well, how do you check yourself? How do you know if you're sick?
What are the checks and balances, and how do you know if you're doing it correctly?
Well, you don't have a reference.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
you have nobody elder. Like, people may say, oh, okay, well, first of all, I'm 40 years old. Let's get it twisted. I ain't nobody's baby. My parents been gone. I've been married. All of that. So I may look a little young, but I've been around. And so I keep myself surrounded with old people. Even when I was a young teenager, my homeboys used to get upset because I was always with the older dudes. Because I can't learn nothing from y'all. We're going to sit here and debate about some shit that you don't even know, you ain't never experienced. Let me go ask one of these dudes because they know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. Right?
And so I surround myself with elders, right? So that people that can see what I can't see. Look, bruh, you doing too much. Go take care of yourself. Go see such and such. Here, take this number. Call this person. Oh, okay. So I gotta go get somebody else to check me out because I can't see the mole growing on my back. I don't know what it look like. I can feel it, but I don't know what it look like. I don't know that something's coming out of it, and that's strange.
Right.
You understand? And I could try to look in the mirror, but I'm still not looking at it. Right? And that we go back to iconography. What do you show? Right? And so with the Orisha, it's very important. All of this stuff is not just happenstance. It's not just for aesthetics. I don't put it there because it looks pretty. It means something, right? And so what do you see? These right here. These are what they call masos, right? They're beaded, and they're beaded by a specific numerical equation. There's certain numbers or certain colors. Now, the way it was expressed to me by the old timers is there's a story that talks about the deity of the sea, Olokun. Olokun is a title, and Olokun is the owner of the sea, and Olokun is the true owner of Earth because the Earth is 75 to 80% water. And in ancient times, in the prehistoric time, the ocean would rise up and destroy everything on the land and wash everything away. And the other deities who were trying to produce life on land complained to God, and so God said, well, I can't really say anything to Olokun because it's Olokun stuff. This is her world. He says, well, divine and figure out, see if the ethers will come up with a solution. And they knew that Olokun was very vain, right? So much that she wore a mask and she would only allow herself to look at herself. No one else would be able to see her because she said her beauty was only for herself, right? And so Orunmila was tasked with divining to come up with a solution. So he came up with the solution to make this numerical chain that would weigh Olokun down to the bottom of the ocean. So he petitioned Oshun because Oshun was good at knitting things. And so he gave Oshun instructions, and she created the first maso. And it was beaded because that was wealth to Olokun, beads and shells. And so the numerical equations are there as some sort of a formula to maintain the energy. So when Olokun, they asked Olokun to come to the surface, and Olokun presented herself. And Orunmila says, I have a gift for you. Playing on her vanity. And he put the maso on her. And as she put the maso on, while she was looking at it, she began to sink. And she sunk to the bottom of the ocean. Right? So later on, the concept became to use these to wrap them around your Orisha so that the Orisha don't leave you. Because you can go to those pots and the essence of the Ocha is left. So I tied them to a numerical equation or spell so that they are always there for me when I'm in need. This is the reason why we put beads on our initiates. Because when you come to me as a neophyte, because you don't have your own connection to them, I present you to my Orisha, and my Orisha take responsibility to keep you here. So when they put the beads around you, it's there to hold you down so that you don't float to the other world. Okay? When they pop, it's an indication you are in need of something. And one of these deities has gotten your attention and is looking to necessarily correct a situation for you. So the beads are not aesthetic. They're not because they look cool. Right? The colors. So we talked about Oshun. Oshun's color is yellow. That concept of coming from being in a situation where you're without and turning it into something beautiful, right? So, in hip hop terms, Cardi B is an Oshun archetype. Somebody that came from having to allure men and seduce them to get the attention to now she's at the top of the game. And everybody can say, nah, she deserves that, right? I was watching something they were talking, Joe Budden and them were talking about the girl Tiffany Haddish, the comedian. Here's another girl that's an Oshun story. Here is this girl come from hard knocks, right? And through her own confidence, she pulled herself up.
Absolutely. And now she's at the,
she's at the top of the game, right? That's what Oshun represents, not your vanity. Okay? Because Oshun's thing is she's not the most beautiful. She doesn't want to hold that title, but she is the most resourceful, right? She knows how to allure you. She understands domestication. Women don't understand that in domestication, a domestic woman has the power of the home, right? Me and Rashid talked about this one time. When you talk about alchemy, Eve is the alchemist. She didn't eat the apple. She told Adam, you eat it. Right? So that means that your wife that's in the kitchen, she cooks. What she cooks defines how you feel. Right?
Absolutely.
So if I want to necessarily get my husband to get me pregnant, I'm going to cook some seafood. He ain't even aware. Oh, baby, I bought these shrimps. They was on sale. We got some wine. I'm going to wine and dine you, and you're going to take me to bed, and you're going to let that thing go, and I'm going to have this baby. You decide that you're going to go play cards with the homeboys, and I don't want you to go, I feed you something heavy. You're going to eat that. You're going to sit down, get tired, you got the itis, you ain't going nowhere. I don't have to fight with you. This is why old black women don't argue with their husbands.
That's right.
That's right. They save face. They go, okay. Right? And when it's time to do the shuffle in the bed, she'd be like, Daddy, I don't like the way you was talking to me in front of the kids. And if you ever talk to me like that, I'm going on strike. He'd be like, all right, baby, I got you. Right? And so that she give him a look. Like, Wilbur, what's wrong with you? And you'd be like, oh, okay.
You get in line. You get in line.
Get in line. Let me get in line. All right. And I can still maintain my power amongst my subjects, but she don't take that from me, but she let me know, look, you're out of place. Right? And so the alchemy, because again, we talked about that last time, the icons for a witch are all domestic. A pot, a broom, spices. She cooking up something for you. She cleaning up the crib, so when you come home and the crib is clean, you ain't got shit to say.
Squat rice.
Okay?
You know what I'm saying? Putting that little something extra in that rice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Real talk.
That's that real talk.
And so when you come home to a clean house with the cooked food, you are a victim.
Yes.
You're a victim. She got you.
And then if she break you off at the end.
Oh, man, you gonna do whatever. You gonna wake up in the morning, shovel the snow for the car and do all kinds of shit because you trying to get that the next week.
Absolutely.
Right? That's the power of women. So they don't understand that because they have been indoctrinated with this idea that they are equal to men. You're not equal. You're opposite of men.
You're opposite of men, and we balance each other
Absolutely,
out.
because there's shit that I can't do that she can do.
And that's why the home, the women representing the home was so powerful, as you just mentioned. For my grandparents, they didn't see that as a demeaning situation.
No.
That was a realm of power.
Absolutely.
My husband will go out, he'll go with some bread, some money, this and that and that. He'll let him deal with all that. When he comes here, this is his kingdom, his sanctuary, I'm gonna have it clean, the kids gonna have their homework done, this, that, there's something cooking on the stove, and we gonna get it in, and that was balancing power.
Absolutely.
Now my wife can get up under a car, but why the fuck would I want to hump under a car? Doesn't mean she can't.
Yeah, but why should she have to do that? That is the blessing that God gave the women.
Yeah, and even when I clean the house, my wife will go, thank you, but then she'll go behind me and really clean the house.
Of course, because you just organize.
Because you just organize, you move some shit around, you clean the middle of the table and shit.
Yeah.
That don't mean I can't clean the house, it's just that I can't do it at the level in which she's gonna get that.
Because she understands it from a
whole different
because
place.
she has to keep herself clean.
Yes.
See, we don't have to keep ourselves as clean as they do. You don't have an open wound.
Right.
So you don't have to doctor something all the time. So you don't know about bacteria like she does. Because she's been taught from young to smell.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't know that. You just know I'm funky for the day. Let me take a shower.
Play ball.
She knows that, I got to use some vinegar. I got to do this. Right. So she's the alchemist.
Absolutely. It's the first alchemist.
She's the first alchemist. Eve didn't eat the apple. She was like, yo, homie, eat this apple.
Right. How grandma could feed 13 people with just a bag of potatoes and some other shit. You know what I mean? And everybody come to grandma's house and everybody eat. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
It's called rock soup.
Yep. Absolutely.
You understand?
Absolutely.
And so we have gotten away from what is the reality of things, because the iconography that they present to us is out of play. Right? Again, the stuff that they show you is what they are trying to feed to you. So now all of this stuff is very empowering, because what it does is it compartmentalizes each part of my personality.
Okay.
Because they've taught you that you're one way. That's impossible. Everybody's multifaceted like a disco ball. Right? I'll show you an example. You have a Mike Tyson who grew up in the Ville under harsh circumstances. They send him upstate. He's upstate and he's with Customado. He sits at the table. He has etiquette. He converses with the people, because his environment has allowed him to pull up that personality, that he can use that personality now, right? They say that about the dude, what's his name, Alpo. His Fresh Air Fun family. Be like, yo, I never knew him to be like that.
Right.
He came up here, he's a perfect gentleman. But when he's in the jungle, his teeth grow back like a ball. He gets his tusk back, because I'm out here in the jungle now. I got to do this, right? And so you're not one way. You're multifaceted. What has to happen is there has to be an environment to nurture those different personalities, right? And so everybody has all men have a feminine aspect of themselves. All females have a masculine aspect of themselves, right? So what this tradition provides is that environment. So when we having a misa, what would be in English terms like a seance, it allows people's personalities, these spirits that live with them, to profess themselves. So so if you have a wife and she has a masculine demeanor about herself, that's a spirit that needs voice. So in the seance, we call him and we say these different things to make him change. So now that spirit is now with her from a perspective of, oh, I'm masculine, and she don't have to be, because I'm masculine in her life for her.
Right.
And when she needs it, I'm gonna necessarily be right there to be the masculine force in her life. Right? When she needs
it. Right.
You understand? And the same thing with the feminine. So that you can say whatever you want to, but some of those dudes, if they didn't turn on the other side, they wouldn't have survived in jail.
That's deep, man.
That dude wouldn't eat if they didn't turn him into a girl. You understand? That you be like, yo, how is this nigga living like that? How did his mind change? Because it's that same concept of when they talk about multiple personalities. So you have Sybil, and they talk about how she had something traumatic happen. That the innocent personality was not able to process and digest. So that innocent personality is now pushed to the back, and other personalities are pushed forward. So that that personality, which is being consumed by this traumatic experience, is not consuming your life, that is stuck in that place.
Right.
Right?
Absolutely.
So they did that movie with the white boy, Split. And they show you him turn into a monster that he could climb on the walls.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's possession. That's possession. If you go to if you ever get a chance to go to a real legitimate ceremony in any one of these chambers, whether it be Vodun, Haitian Vodun in Nigeria, here, Lukumista, and you see somebody get possessed and do some shit that's not humanly possible.
Unexplainable.
Right? Yeah. People, they'd be break the bottle, eat the glass, and there'd be no blood. How is that possible? Because that spirit does not respect the laws that you're stuck in.
Right.
He overstands those laws. So I could eat this, and it's all of the cells know not to break down and allow this glass to break it down and cut the body.
Right. Because the laws with which when he reside are totally different.
And that deity is doing that to express to everybody in the presence that I'm not a human being right now. And so what I'm telling you comes from someplace else.
So you better line up.
So I'm gonna give you this evidence to show you that I ain't a man. I'm gonna eat this bottle. You clear? All right, now I'm gonna give you the information so that you understand that it's legitimate. I'm not from this world. I come from someplace else, and I can do some shit that you can't do. Right? And so we celebrate that and we cultivate that. So that there are certain people that's their job. They get possessed. Right? There's certain people who are diviners. There's certain people who are organizers. They got a whole list. They know everything that we need. Oh, no, you forgot this. Oh, shit, I forgot about that. Yeah, right? Everybody has their part. So there's a saying, the butcher don't tell the baker how to make bread, and the baker don't tell the executioner how to take heads. Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
You ain't. That's not what you do. Yeah, I'm the butcher. I might know how to make a cake, but I don't make that shit every day. Right. I'm gonna go to the baker because the baker makes cakes and cupcakes and bagels and all of that shit every day.
This is what he does.
Right? He does this shit intrinsically without even thinking. So I'm not gonna challenge him about how he makes his cupcakes because I cut meat. You understand? And the executioner's not gonna tell me tell the baker how to make the bread, and the baker's not gonna tell the executioner how to take the heads. Oh no, you need to cut it like this because when I cut the bread, it's like, this ain't bread, homie. You understand? And so there's a position for everybody to fall into. But the iconography does something to our psychology. So when you talk about sigils and different things, all of that, this is what this is. Each one of these different things that I have put to these Orisha has a specific story to it. Right? So Oshun uses fans to cool us, right? Because when you're cool, you think at your optimum level, right? You are logical at that moment. You're cool. Yeah. You don't want to be overheated. When you're overheated, your body is uncomfortable. So the cooling effects of cool water, of a fan, right, has a power over us, right? Oshun is associated with string instruments. Okay. The banjo is the very first guitar. Let's be clear about that. Come out of West Africa. The word banjo is Yoruba. Originally, the banjo was a medical instrument used to loosen up the mucus and the plasma in your body.
By the notes being played?
What they would do is they lay you down and they would put it on top of you and they would strum it.
Strum it.
Right? And the sound enters because sound penetrates through plasma faster than it does through air. So if you had mucus or there were blood clots in your body, they would strum it and play a certain tune, and it would create the circulatory system to get back into motion. Right? In Cuba,
sort of like a tuning fork.
Exactly what it is.
Gotcha.
Vibration.
Okay,
because the river moves with a vibration. You get electricity from hydraulic through the river. Okay, so it's moving. Because she's not stagnant water. Ocean is a river. A river is running water.
Right.
It's constantly refreshing itself. It's not the same water as yesterday or an hour ago.
Right.
You go to a pond or a lake, that water been sitting there. It's been right there.
That's toxic. Yeah,
right.
Toxic.
Running water is different. So the vibration. So now, in Cuba, when I was young, there's a custom that on certain times, instead of a drum, they play a violin to Oshun. So a lot of black people who converted to this, who are ultra black power, was like, what is that shit? Oh, that's some bullshit. That's some Cuban bullshit. Right? But they neglected to understand that the sound was there to heal. It was there to optimize that tranquil spirit in your body. Right? Because Oshun is about the blood that runs through our veins. And so the blood has to be able to run. So any clots, any mucus,
any slowdowns,
that's a problem, right? And so them utilizing the understanding of that this sound, these sonic sounds do something to your body and heal you. They said, okay, we ain't got no banjo here. Nobody remember how to do that shit, but that white boy be playing that violin, and I know we taught that motherfucker that shit a long time ago. Come bring that shit over here.
And that ties back into you saying readjusting based on what it is we have in terms of changing your dress. You might have to change the instrument used to reach that result. Because if you get stuck in, we ain't got no banjo, now we fucked.
Exactly.
Now we fucked.
You stuck on customs.
Right. You stuck on customs. Now we got the banjo. Nobody got a banjo. We die. Or, we don't move
So now
on.
you homogenize because you see the things that are available around
Absolutely.
you. And you compensate based on that.
Beautiful.
Right?
I see that. That's where I see hip hop, but that's a whole.
Oh no, but that it goes into that.
Homogenizing.
The homogenization. Where you don't. So, the Reagan era, right, and the Jimmy Carter era don't allow for arts and music in the schools. So now there's no instruments in the schools. There's no music class. There's no band, right? So now these kids are stuck in their parents' house with these records that they've been listening to all their lives, and they're like, yeah, I like that song. I like that part right there. So they utilize what was available to them.
Absolutely.
Right? And so it becomes very logical that the rest of the world, especially Africa and the diaspora, would take hold of hip hop the way it did because they know what it is. The spoken word, right? These are chants. These niggas is chanting over this shit, and they're expressing their circumstances. This is why when the music doesn't express the circumstances, that shit is fraudulent.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Check.
If it's because it was there to express the circumstances that we was in. So originally they tell you Bam and them created it to stop the gangs from fighting. So now they got a means of having a battle which nobody dies in. Whether it be dance, so we got our dancer, we got our MC, and we got our DJ. These are our warriors. We're gonna put them up against yours. So I was watching Troy, right? And so they tell Achilles, come on out, fight his best man. Achilles be like, all right, I'm gonna whoop his ass. Ain't no reason for the rest of us to fight. Cause you know I'm a bad motherfucker and I'm the nigga that they all love.
Right.
And that's the nigga you all love. I just showed you he ain't no good. So we ain't got to do this.
Right.
You know what
Right.
I'm
You can cut the shit right here.
You can cut this right here. Get your best man, I get my best man. Alright, you the better man today. I pledge allegiance to you, my nigga. I'm fucking with you. Whoever you running down on, I got you.
Exactly.
Right? And so that's the same thing with the hip hop. So when it became about franchising, right? Because that's what it is today. It is to sell products.
That's all it
is. The
is.
American society has co-opted it because we are capitalistic and they figured out that this shit is how to sell things. So the music no longer has a message, it just has a product.
That's it.
What jeans are you selling? What sneakers are you selling? What
cars?
alcohol are you selling? What jewelry, right? What way of life are you selling to us? Right? And so the youngsters, I'm not mad at them. But know what you're doing. Feel me? Because at this point, it doesn't reflect our circumstance. So when you got me in the club and they got the chandelier and y'all pumping bottles, but I go back to the projects, this is not my fucking circumstances.
Right, absolutely.
You feel me? It's not my circumstances. I'm living a lie. I'm in here because originally hip hop started in abandoned buildings.
Right, absolutely.
In the park.
Yep.
What we had available, right? You look at B Street.
The reason, because we couldn't get into the clubs and the disco clubs.
So they didn't want to hear that shit.
We had to give it free to the people in the park. You can come as you are.
Exactly.
You didn't have to have on, suits.
And the Playboys and the double knit.
You come as you are.
Right. And so what happens is we have lost the understanding of the icons that they put before us. And I mean that on every level. I like Ice Cube, but I gotta question them. You came from niggas with attitudes. Now they put you up as a movie star, right? You help usher in that gangster shit that had niggas losing their fucking minds. And then you switched up and now you like, are we there yet?
Are we there yet?
And you got the TV deal and all of that shit. Really? So you was the one talking about fuck the police, right? Burn Hollywood, burn. Hollywood, burn. And now I'm supposed to look to you? I don't know about that, son. I gotta question your motives because what have you now produced for us? Now you produce some good entertainment. Friday is a cult classic, right?
But it's entertainment.
Exactly. So why are we now exalting entertainers? Like in the '60s, the people they love John Coltrane. You ain't never seen John Coltrane give an interview about what he think about nothing, because nobody give a fuck. He just play the horn. Play the horn and talk to me that way. I don't want to hear else what you got to say, because it don't fucking matter. Because you play the horn.
That's your shit.
Yeah. I don't want to know what you think. I don't care about your politics. That shit don't mean nothing to me. Now, we worry about what a nigga think and how he feel about some shit. Why? This nigga is not my leader.
Exactly.
What are you talking about? What has he done for me? These niggas have no institution.
This nigga play the drums.
That's it. I don't care. And so the conversation is, I love B.I.G., but that shit that he represented, that shit was false. Niggas in my neighborhood died under that shit, chasing that bag.
Absolutely. Money,
right?
hoes, and clothes.
Yeah, money, hoes, and clothes is all the nigga knows. Right? And so, it was like, yo, what is you talking about? So now when we get to the clubs in the city, niggas talking about, you gotta have on shoes. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's a hip-hop club. Because these niggas done turned it into some champagne rap.
Absolutely.
Right? They done told me that I gotta act like a grown adult, but I'm still a fucking baby. Right? You telling me to go for all of this opulence and I go back to pissy hallways and fucking crack infested fucking neighborhoods. What are you talking about, my nigga? This is not bettering me. Right? And so we have to acknowledge and be cognizant of the fact that, yeah, there are some hinges, there's some glitches in our shit. And we have to address them so that shit don't repeat itself. Right? Because and so back to Train. All the little niggas was doing dope because Train was doing dope. Check. You feel me? So you gotta go back to how far they've been co-opting our shit. And giving you these messages, this iconography, this nigga nodding off playing the horn, and all these little niggas, they don't even play a horn, but they shooting dope. Right. You destroyed a whole generation. Right? And so, even Miles, that's why Miles turned around. He talking about, for the white boy. Nah, man, you was doing that dope, and you didn't have to. You didn't come from that. You come from a good family. They sent you to school, my nigga. You start sniffing this dope trying to be like these niggas. Right? And so now you had to turn around because you can't face us because this shit is real. And so we looking at these icons like these niggas are supposed to save us, but these are ignorant motherfuckers. And I'm not saying that, detrimentally, but that's the reality of it. You understand? That's the reality of it. I'm not going to ask B.I.G. about Sun Tzu. He may have read the book and had an understanding about that, but he ain't the master. About that shit, yeah, my nigga, tell me about them lyrics you said in Exercise. Who was you talking about? Right. For entertainment factor,
and that's it. Don't exalt these niggas. And we having that problem in our communities now. Everybody's exalting motherfuckers.
Yeah, and they exalting the wrong people.
That's it.
You feel me? Don't tell me that you want to put Pac on the $10 bill. Tell me you want to put Dr. Clark on the $10 bill.
Right, absolutely.
Tell me you want to put Marcus Garvey on the $10 bill or the $20 bill. You understand what I'm saying? Let's get that back to what's really real. You feel me? When they start talking about all this rap shit, the illustrators, they talk about the rap stuff, and I never heard them mention one time Kid and Play. They changed the game. Those two dudes made hip-hop palatable for white America.
They did.
Right? They were talking about fun. They were not talking about shooting nobody. They weren't talking about taking nobody girl. They was talking about having fun. They gave us the most iconic movie of our culture.
Right.
House Party is the most iconic movie of the 90s. All of the people that came out of that, look how many people
came out of that.
Right?
Martin, a whole bunch of people came out of that.
So that their dance is a dance of unity. I'm going to step back, you step back, and we're going to come together. You understand? From an icon perspective.
And your man had the crown.
Exactly.
Your man Kid they both had the crown.
They both had the crown. Play was the first one to start doing his own clothes. Remember that?
Yeah.
He the first one to start doing his own clothes. They was on a different level, but they don't talk about them dudes. You know why? Because they was Mickey Mouse, but what is about the shit that's right now? That shit is mad Mickey Mouse. Y'all big. These niggas had a cartoon.
Right.
Cartoon and a cereal.
They sure did.
Right.
They sure did.
But then y'all forgot about these dudes. That whole era of people, they brought us fun when it was at a time, and it was fun because our neighborhoods were dilapidated. You feel me? And so we needed something to party about to keep our morale up. So we had them, and on the other side we had Public Enemy giving us that knowledge. Right. And then all of a sudden these big niggas became null and void. Right? And now all of this gangster shit started happening. And so originally the gangster shit was to report on what was going on because the crack era hadn't finished. Everybody thought the 80s is over and everything good in the 90s, and they were like, nah, son, motherfuckers are still out here buying crack.
This is the reverberation of that shit. Absolutely.
Right. And then the champagne rap came in. Because everybody forgot about all of the stuff that they tried to push on us. They forgot about the boss. They had the fucking light-skinned girl probably from suburb with the hat on, with the car on.
Yeah, I remember
she was talking all that gangster shit, and niggas was like, yeah, that shit is dope. Who is that, bro? Where she at now? Right? Where she at now? Because she was perpetrating the fall. She had the Glock, and she was,
I remember,
right? All of that shit. Those were the little things that they was dropping into the water changing motherfuckers.
Right.
And so this is iconography. Because Kid and Play showed them how powerful the music was. Yeah, Run DMC and them showed them how powerful it was. But Kid and Play, they were smiling. Them white folks didn't have a problem with turning on their TV and watching them two boys dance.
Right. They were not a threat
at all.
Right. And when you're not a threat, that's when we bring you over to the other
absolutely
side.
But they were talking about social issues. When you watch House Party, they're talking about he went to jail for nothing. They were talking about that's just stop and frisk shit. Niggas just taking a nigga jail. He's a good kid. This nigga's in the jail because these niggas is giving him a hard time. They're showing you the dynamics of the black experience. There's some other niggas that they not well off, and these niggas is giving him a hard time because he doing a little bit better than them. Well, we gonna shake your world up, son. And here come the police. Oh, all y'all niggas go to jail. So not he didn't want the only one to go to jail. Everybody went to jail, right? They showing you that shit. They showed you not a single mother. They showed you a single father.
Right.
They showed you a black man that was going to work every day trying to necessarily. You understand? You got to pay attention to what they was giving out. So now these niggas was giving you a program of black life from a very real perspective. It ain't always just a woman taking care of these boys. It may be a man. So don't tell me that black men don't take care of their kids, because Robert Harris was the daddy to motherfucking the kid, right?
Yep.
You understand? They showed you the difference between the generations. When John Witherspoon is in the window, don't tell me about no Public Enema. That's the old people. But by the end of the scene, he like, oh shit, hey, that girl look good, right? Bringing it down to what is we really doing as black people? They didn't show us. They showed us the projects, right? But they didn't show us no gangs, and they didn't show us nobody buying crack. It just was some people that's living poor. That everybody live in the house, and they still got some kind of ethics about them, right? And then they take you to the rich house. The mothers, this girl's parents are doing well. You feel what I'm saying? And then you got the middle class where Kid and Play are from.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? They gave us an image, but they don't big that up. They didn't have them on Hip Hop Honors.
They haven't. Nobody talks about Kid and Play.
Nobody talk about
their contributions, and I'm even guilty of it myself. You bringing me back to a time, because I've forgotten more about hip hop than most motherfuckers can even remember. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm saying? Just keeping it a buck.
Absolutely.
So you brought me back to a point where, you know what I'm saying, and you're right.
They did more commercially for hip hop than I think anybody at a very pinnacle point, right? So that they were bubblegum enough that white people would accept them, but not enough that we would just push them off like we did with Will Smith.
Right.
Oh, that's some bubblegum shit.
Right.
Kid and Play was ours.
Right.
They was talking that music. They was using them samples. They had their own clothes. They represented where hip hop was supposed to go. Right.
Agreed.
And so now, what happens is they give you Boys in the Hood.